Bismillah Rahman Rahim. This is lecture number 2. Today we will cover aims and objectives of education for preparing, practicing Muslims and for creative Islamic social welfare state. Second topic that will be secondary education in Pakistan. And the third topic that will be the stage of formal operations, and that is from 11 to 15 years, and also called stage of secondary education. Then the fourth topic that will be structure developed in the formal operational stage, means secondary education. Aims and objectives of education for preparing, practicing Muslims and for creative Islamic social welfare state. We know that after independence, means after 1947, a great efforts have been made to provide definite directions in the education in Pakistan. So Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah laid down a set of aims that provide guidance to all educations in the country. This policy too has sought inspiration and guidance from those directions and the constitutions of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The policy cannot be put in a better way than in the Qaid's words. Ideology of Pakistan forms the genesis of Pakistan, and in this way the country can't survive and advance without a policy of entire system of education on a sound Islamic foundations. Remember that without any policy or without any ideology, the country can't survive, and even they can't advance without a proper policy, and that policy which should be based on some Islamic rules and regulations. The policy has adequate provisions for this transfer mentioned, such as integration of society, upgrading the quality of education in Deen in madrasas. Nazare Quran has been introduced as a compulsory component from grade 1 to 8, while at the secondary level, translation of the selected verses from the Holy Qurans that will be offered. Now, aims and objectives of education. Furthermore, the desires of Qaid have been reflected in the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and relevant articles are there, like the state shall adhere as respects the Muslim of Pakistan, like to make the teaching of Holy Qurans and Islamiyat compulsory in order to encourage and facilitate the learning of Arabic language, and to secure correct and exact printing and publishing of the Holy Quran, and to promote unity and observance of the Islamic moral standards. Provide basic necessities of life such as food, clothing, housing. You know that these are basic needs and needs of every human being. Medical leave for all such citizens, irrespective of race, sex, caste, creed, who are permanently or temporarily unable to earn their livelihood on account of infirmity, sickness, or unemployment. Then remove illiteracy and provide free and compulsory secondary education within the minimum possible period. So this is also in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan constitutions. Enable the people of different areas through education, training, agricultural and industrial development and other methods to participate fully in all the forms of national activities, including employment in the service of Pakistan. The other article, that is the state shall discourage parochial, racial, tribal, sectarian and provincial prejudices among the citizens. Then there are some objectives like to make the Quranic principles and Islamic practices as an integral part of the curricula, so that the message of the Holy Quran could be dissemination in the process of future generation of Pakistan as a true practicing Muslim who could be able to enter into 21st century and the next millennium with courage, confidence, wisdom and tolerance. So this is one of the objective of secondary education, to ensure all the boys and girls desirous of entering secondary education get the basic rights because of the availability of the schools. Third objective, that is to develop opportunities, and opportunities for what? For technical and vocational education in the country, for producing trained manpower commensurate with the needs of industry and economic development goals. You know that what will be the needs of the industry, so accordingly the people are to be trained, and the ultimate goal is to raise the economic conditions. The other objective, that is to improve the quality of technical education. Once the quality will be increased in respect of technical educations, then we have a greater chance of employment, especially in technical and vocational fields. So such type of graduates, by moving from a static supply system to demand driven system. Okay, secondary education in Pakistan. How do we see secondary education in Pakistan? So secondary schools may be called high schools, academies, gymnasiums, lyceums, middle schools, upper schools, colleges, sixth form colleges, vocational schools, preparatory schools, and the exact meaning of any of these varies among the countries. Education in Pakistan is overseen by the Federal Ministry of Education and the provincial governments, whereas the federal government mostly assists in curriculum development, accreditations, and in the financing of research and development. Article number 25A of obligates the state to provide free and compulsory quality education to the children of the age group 5 to 16 years. The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 5 to 16 years in such a manner as may be determined by law. The education system in Pakistan, that is generally divided into different levels, like there are 6 levels. First one is preschools, that is from the age from for the age from 3 to 5 years. Then primary, that is from grades 1 through 5. Middle, grade 6 through 8. High, that is means grades 9 and 10, leading to the secondary school certificates. Then intermediate, that is grades 11 and 12, leading to higher secondary school certificates or HSSC. University programs leading to undergraduates and the graduate degrees. Then secondary education in Pakistan begins from grade 9 and lasts for 4 years. After end of each of the school years, students are required to pass a national examination administered by the Regional Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education. Generally we call it BICE, B-I-S-E, BICE. So upon completion of grade 9, normally students are expected to take a standardized test in each of the first parts of their academic subjects. So they again give these tests of the second parts of the same courses at the end of grade 10. Then upon successful completion of these examinations, they are awarded SSC, means secondary school certificate. So this is locally termed as matriculation. Generally we call it matric, and in short we can say. So the curriculum usually includes a combination of 8 courses, including such as biology, chemistry, computer and physics, as well as compulsory subjects like mathematics, English, Urdu, Islamic Studies and Pakistan Studies. Students then enter an intermediate college and complete grades 11 and 12, and upon completion of each of two grades they again take standardized tests in their academic subjects. So upon successful completion of these examination, then students are awarded the higher secondary school certificates. Generally we call it FAFSC or intermediate. So there are many streams like students can choose for their 11th and 12th grades, such as pre-medical, pre-engineering, humanities, and normally we see it at intermediate levels, computer science, commerce. So each stream consists of 3 elective and as well as the 3 compulsory subjects like English, Urdu, Islamiyat. So this is for grade 11 and Pakistan study for grade 12. Then alternative qualification in Pakistan, they are also available and maintained by the examination board instead of bias. So most common alternative is the general certificate of education like GCE, where SSC and HSSC are replaced by the ordinary level. Generally we call it O level, and then advanced level. Then this is generally we call A level. And similarly other qualification includes like IGCSE, which replaces SSC, GCE and GCSE is O level, IGCE and GCE, AS or A levels. These are basically managed by British Examination Board of CIE of the Cambridge Assessment and Edexcel International of Pearson PLC. So generally 8 to 10 courses are selected by the students at GCE O levels and 3 to 5 at GCE A levels. Then advanced placement means AP. This is an alternative option for but much less common than GCE of IGCSE. This replaces the secondary school education as high school education. Instead, AP exams are monitored by a North American Examination Board, College Board, and can only be given under supervision of centers which are registered with the College Board, unlike GCE, OAS, A level, and IGCSE, so which can be given privately. Then there is another type of education in Pakistan normally we see, and that is called technical education, and that is gathering technical and vocational education. So its curriculum starts at the grade 5 and ends on grade 10. Then 3 boards normally which are being used for this technical education, like Punjab Board of Technical Education, KPK Board of Technical Education, and Sindh Board of Technical Education. So they are offering Matric Tech course which is equivalent to 10th grade, Diploma in Associate Engineering, DAE generally we call it, in technologies like civil, chemical, architecture, mechanical, electrical, electronics, computer, and many more. So DAE, this is basically 3 years program of instructions and which is equivalent to 12th grade. So diploma holders are called associate engineers. Either they can join their respective field or can take admission in BTech or BE in the related technology after DAE. So overall the cycle of secondary education that is completed in 5 years, and the required age for admission to 6th grade, that is means first grade at secondary level, that is 10 plus. So through though transitionally middle schools like comprising grades 6 to 8, this is the part of secondary education, but in principle secondary education is considered to consist of grades 9th and 12th. Some education policies introduced from time to time are that grades 11th and 12th, presently known as higher secondary education, and that should ultimately be merged in the secondary stage. Though middle stage is considered to form grades 6 to 8, but all the middle schools in Pakistan arrange schoolings for grade 1 to 8. Higher secondary schools impart instructions from 6 to 12 grades. Originally, the idea was conceived to arrange instructions for class 9th to 12. So, in order to introduce three-tier education system in the country, the medium of instruction, that is the national language, with the exception of public schools, where English has been opted as medium of instruction. So, apart from these ordinary schools being managed by public and private sectors, so there is another stream of institutions known as cadet colleges and public schools. So, these institutions are supposed to prepare personnel for armed forces. In this perspectives, some cadet colleges are very famous, like Kohat, Hassan Abdal, Ladkana, Razmak, Petaro, Mastong, and public school includes Lawrence College at Kodagali, Army Brun Hall, School College Aptabad, Atchison College Lahore, Sadiq Public School, Bahawalpur, etc. So these are some famous public schools. According to Economic Survey of Pakistan in 1997 to 98, participation rate in 1997 to 98 at middle level, that is in 49% for both genders, in which male those were 62% and female 36% was there. And at secondary level it is the 34%, both genders, like male 43% and female 25%. So it is however evident that girls participation rate is almost one half compared to boys, which is the main cause of low literacy rate at national level. Now the stage of formal operations, like 11 to 15 years, this period of age, that is called formal operation stage. So the stage of formal operation stage means secondary stage of secondary education, and during this stage formal operations, which on average begins around age 11 to 12, where the child develops the reasoning and logics to solve all classes of problems. So there is a freeing of thought, feeling of thought from direct experiences. This is you can say feeling of thought. So the child cognitive structures reach maturity during this stage, that is his or her potential quality or reasoning or thought, compared with the potential of adults thought, is at its maximum when formal operations are fully developed. So after this stage there are no further structural improvements in the quality of reasoning. So the adolescent with fully developed formal operations typically has the cognitive structural equipment to think as well as adults. This doesn't mean the thinking of the adolescent with formal reasoning is necessarily as good as about thought in particular instance, through though it may be, it means only that the potential has been achieved. Both adults and adolescents with formal operations for formal operational reasons are using the same logical processes. So assimilation and accommodations prompted by disequilibrium continue throughout the life to produce changes in schemata. After the development of this formal operation stage, so changes in reasoning abilities, these are quantitative and no longer qualitative with respect to logical operations and structure. And the quality of reasoning, this is one is capable of, does not improve after this stage, and the content and functions of intelligence may improve. This does not mean that the use of thought cannot or does not improve after adolescence. The content and function of thought are free to vary and improve after this stage, which in part helps explain some of the classical differences between adolescent thought and adult thought. One should not assume that all adolescent and adults fully develop formal operations, then several studies concluded that no more than half of the American population develops all the possibilities of formal operations. Certainly, a proportion of American adult populations never advances much beyond concrete operational reasoning. Now, there are some like structure development developed in the formal operational stage, like first of all, hypothetical deductive reasoning. What is this? Means goes beyond the confines of everyday experience to things which we have no experience. This is what hypothetical reasoning. It is also the reasoning that transcends perceptions and memory and deals with things not directly known to us or hypothetical. So deductive reasoning, that is the reasoning from premises to conclusions or from the general to specific. Inferences are conclusions based on deductive reasonings are necessarily true only if the premises they are derived from are true. Reasoning can be applied to arguments that have false premises, however, the logical conclusions can be derived. Hypothetical deductive is reasoning that involve deducing conclusions from the premises which are hypotheses rather than from facts. So the subject has been actually verified, and so in this manner the possible hypothetical becomes an arena within which reasoning can be used effectively. So second the thing is that is scientific inductive reasoning. What is this? Inductive reasoning, this is basically reasonings from specific facts to the general conclusions, and this is the main reasoning process used by scientists to arrive at generalization or scientific laws. And in Halders and Piaget concluded that when confronted with problems, children with formal operations are capable of reasoning very much like scientists. They form hypotheses, experiments, control variable, record facts, and from the results draw conclusions in a systematic manner. So one of the characteristics of scientific reasoning is the ability to think about the number of different variables at the same time. Those with formal reasoning accomplish this in the coordinated manners and can determine the effect of one's all or some combinations of a set of variables. Then high school cognitive development. Cognitive, you know that this is related to the mind. So most high school students have achieved the formal operation stage as described by Piaget. So these students can think abstractly and need fewer concrete examples to understand complex thought patterns. Generally speaking, most students share some of the characteristics which are as follows, like need to understand the purpose and relevance of instructional activities, are both internally and externally motivated, have self-imposed cognitive barriers due to the year of academic failure, and lack self-confidence to overcome these barriers to learning, want to establish immediate and long-term personal goal, want to assume individuals' responsibility for learning and progress towards goals. The next one, that is high school social development. This is also the structure developed. This is part of structure, like high school students they are experimenting with adult like relationships. Generally speaking, most students share the characteristics like interested in co-educational activities, desire adult leadership roles and autonomy in planning, want adults to assume to chiefly support role in their education, developing a community consciousness, need opportunities for self-expression. Okay, students, this was all about this lecture. Hopefully this will be understandable to all of you, and at the end I will request you that still if you didn't subscribe my channel, so please subscribe it and share with your friends, and inshallah stay with me I will upload all the lectures related to this you can say our topics candy education, and I hope that all lectures will be uploaded soon. So that's why this is very important to uh, get in touch with this channel also. And again I will request to all of you, share it with your friends. Take care. Allah Hafiz.